Well, and actually, Sky, I was going to ask you, so we're getting ready to get started here. So I noticed your Spanish is pretty good. I don't know if you want to tell everybody, how you learned, or were you self-taught? Did you take classes? Because people always want inspiration.
Yeah, sure. I took Spanish and French in middle school, and then Spanish in high school, and I got a Spanish minor, but in college. But then also my stepdad is from Mexico, so he's really what taught me most of
Oh
my
my
Spanish. I think. He's
Yeah,
putting
well, no
work into
wonder.
us now, so he'll say hi in a minute, I'm sure.
Okay, that's awesome. Well, that's really great to know. Well, tonight's class actually will be a little bit more, maybe a little bit more advanced. I don't know. It's really hard because we have families at all levels. So we have some parents who are beginners, the very beginning, and then we have some people like you who are more advanced. So we'll see. We'll see. I try to satisfy everyone. And Daxon, you got to help us out, okay? All right, you're gonna help us out with class tonight.
Aquí está mi madre también.
Hola.
That's my mom.
Mamá, hola, buenas noches. Ella también, ella habla español también.
Poquito.
Poquito.
No, estudio en la escuela solamente.
Okay, eso es bueno.
Mhm.
¿Y de dónde eres? ¿De dónde eres? ¿De aquí en Wilmington o?
Where are you from?
Well, I'm from Estado de Missouri,
Okay.
but vive en Carolina del Norte para muchos años.
Okay, qué bien. Entonces tú naciste en Missouri, ¿verdad?
Sí.
Okay, qué bueno. Pues mucho gusto. Mucho gusto.
Igualmente, mucho gusto. Mi esposo es de Ciudad de México.
Ah, tu esposo. Okay, es de México. Sí.
Ciudad de México.
Okay, sí, se dice DF,
Sí.
¿verdad?
Yeah.
Yeah, for all the people who are watching, so it's funny, most Mexicans don't say Mexico City, they call it DF, which is just
That's true.
that
But
it has. But yeah, I mean, that's good. Yeah, I was just letting everybody know, if they ever hear the term DF, it means Mexico City. Okay, bueno, gracias por venir. Okay, let me share my screen then, and we'll get started. Let's see. Okay. All right. Okay, listos. That's another word in Spanish that we use a lot at the school. We say listos. Listos means ready. So whenever you're ready, a lot of times the teachers will say to the kids, listos? And the kids will say back, listos. Or están listos? Are you guys ready? Están listos? And the kids should say, sí, listos. And that's actually a phrase that you could use at home with your kid, with your child too. You could ask them, are you ready? ¿Estás listo? If it's a boy, you would say, ¿estás listo? And actually, I'll type that here. Hola. ¿Cómo están? Bien. Ah, qué bueno. Bien, bien, estoy bien. Hola, Connolly. Hola, Melissa.
Hola.
Feliz miércoles.
Feliz miércoles.
Gracias.
Feliz miércoles.
Okay, feliz miércoles. Estamos aquí. So I was just telling everyone that so tonight's topic is going to be Spanish words that you can incorporate at home with your child. So if you're wanting to say some things to them at home, I'm going to give everyone some phrases they can use. And then of course, we'll also talk about this week's theme at school. What are they learning about? So I was just sharing a phrase, listos. I said everybody listos, and that means ready. Okay, so that means everyone ready. And I was saying that the teachers use that a lot at school. So they'll say to the class, they'll say, ¿Están listos? And that means, are you guys ready? And then the kids will answer back, sí, listos. And that means, yes, ready, all of us. Okay. So the word listo, if it's a girl though, you say lista. All right, because you're describing yourself. So since it's an adjective in this sense, how am I? I'm ready, lista. or estoy lista. That means I'm ready. And that would be for a girl. But if you're a boy, you would say estoy listo. And that would be I'm ready, a boy or a male. And then if it's a mixture of boys and girls like it is at school, then in that case, you would use this phrase here, listos. Sí, listos. Okay. So anyways, listos? ¿Están listos? Sí, listos. Okay, so I always start out with a review of our vowels because they're so important. So let's just practice those one more time, and especially if there's someone who's new and it's their first time to the class tonight. So our vowels in Spanish are A, E, I, O, U. A, E, I, O, U. So that will help you with pronouncing Spanish words. So for example, this word here, listos, that we were practicing, it's not listos. So that's how we can, work on our accent a little bit. If you said listos, they might understand you, but listos is so much better. So listos, sí, listos. Okay. Did anyone practice any of the phrases last week with the teachers? I think last week we were working on goodbyes like adios, hasta luego, nos vemos. Okay, adios, goodbye, hasta luego, see you later, nos vemos, also see you later, or we'll see each other. Did anyone try any of those out on the teachers? That's cool. See, no? Well, that's okay. You can always, try it this week. Keep working on it, keep using it, because I found that I just kind of get a rush when I use a vocabulary with a person and I get a response. It's like it encourages you to keep trying. So I've been trying to learn Russian, and because we have a couple of grandparents that speak Russian and some Russian students at our school. So even though what I can say is very basic, I get so excited when they actually respond to me. I'm like, it worked. So definitely try some of these words out. Okay, so we went over our vowels, and each week I like to go over another consonant. So last week, we've done the letter H. The H in Spanish is, what sound does it make? No sound at all, it's silent. So like hola, okay, H doesn't make a sound. And then last week, I think we did the letter J, la jota, and J actually makes the H sound. So we practiced the word jalapeno last week. It starts with a J, but we don't say jalapeno, we say jalapeno. So since the letter H is silent, the J actually makes the H sound. Okay, so like the word Jesus in Spanish is Jesus, Jesus, Jesus. So those are the consonants that we've already worked on. This week, our consonants of the week are the letter B and B, be y be. And those consonants are really interesting in Spanish because they actually make the same sound. So the letter B is pronounced just like the letter B. And it's funny, it's a funny sound because it's not a B and it's not a V, it's a B. So people shouldn't know if you're saying B. It's not a hard B like in English, B, B, and it's not a V like V. Okay, in English, when we make the V, we put our teeth on our bottom lip. But in Spanish, it's actually B. So for example, this word here, the kids' favorite song, vaca. Vaca. Yeah. So you notice I'm not saying vaca. Okay, it's vaca.
Vaca.
Muy bien.
You've been listening to that song.
It's catchy, isn't it?
It is.
Vaca Lola.
Yeah.
The kids love that song. And I'll tell you a really quick story that's so funny. We have one of our parents who it was for a project that she was doing. I don't quite understand what it was all about, but it was an outreach project actually to help a girl in Nicaragua who's going to have a baby. And there are also some letters involved to a school, so to kids in Nicaragua. And one of the questions that they asked in the letters, they did like pen pals. And they asked, what's your favorite song? And several of the kids said La Vaca Lola. So the mom was actually, she emailed me the letters yesterday and she was showing me all the kids' letters from Nicaragua. And she was like, it's so funny, all around the world, kids love that. They love that song. It doesn't matter. So that's definitely, it's an authentic song, La Vaca Lola.
Vaca Lola.
Lola the cow. Okay, another V word in Spanish is vamos. Vamos. So you'll notice again, it's more of a B than a V, but it's not vamos. You don't put your teeth on your bottom lip. It's vamos. Okay, your lips should touch. Vamos. Vamos means come on, let's go. Vamos, vamos. And then another word, a B or V word from this week is bombero.
Bombero.
Bombero. Mhm. Bombero. And actually, I'm going to put bombero or bombera. Okay. Does anyone know what a bombero is? ¿Qué es un bombero? ¿Qué es? Any guesses? Bombero. Mhm. That's one of the words that we've been talking about this week at school. Bombero is a fireman, a fireman.
Oh,
So bombero. And a firewoman would be bombera. Okay, so we're continuing with that theme of O being masculine and A being feminine. So for example, if you were a female fireman, you might, firewoman, you would say soy bombera. But if
Soy
you're a male, you would say soy bombero.
Soy bombero.
Soy bombero. Okay. All right, so that's our consonant of the week. The B and the V makes the B sound in Spanish. Ba. Okay, listos. Entonces, esta noche, let's see. I wanted to talk about, well, does anybody have any questions? Anything you want to know from this week or last week or something on your mind? No?
I don't think so.
Nada? No hay nada?
No, nada.
Nada? Okay. Bueno, so Spanish at home with your children. So what are some things that you could say incorporate at home with your child if you wanted to use some Spanish? So I'm just thinking of a couple of simple phrases. One we already talked about is vamos. Vamos means come on, let's go. So when it's time to go, you can say vamos, vamos. Another version of that is vámonos. And that means let's go as well, but it's extra emphasis. So it's like vámonos, vámonos. Have you ever heard that before?
Yeah.
Okay. It's making the verb reflexive. So vamos comes from the verb ir, which means to go. It's one of the irregular verbs. But anyways, when you conjugate ir, it's voy, vas, va, vamos, vais, van. But you can make it reflexive and just put a nos on the end of it. Vámonos. But it's the same thing. Let's go. Another phrase that you might use with your child would be ¿Qué pasa? I think we talked about that phrase, didn't we? ¿Qué pasa? That means what's wrong? Or how's it going?
¿Qué pasa, calabaza?
Sí, ¿qué pasa? Or ¿qué te pasa? ¿Qué te pasa is the same thing. It's just a little bit, more emphasis. ¿Qué te pasa? Okay, ¿qué te pasa? What's wrong? And they might say nada. Nada? Okay, nada means nothing. ¿Qué pasa? ¿Qué te pasa? Nada? Nothing? Or you could say ¿Estás bien? ¿Estás bien means are you okay? ¿Estás bien? ¿Estás bien?
Yeah.
Sí? Or no? ¿Estás bien? Are you okay? Okay, let's talk about meal times. If you wanted to ask your child, are you hungry? Okay, you could say ¿Tienes hambre? Sometimes the teachers say that at school. ¿Tienes hambre?
Es hambre.
¿Tienes hambre?
Um,
So tienes comes from the verb tener, which means to have. So it literally says, do you have hunger? So in Spanish, you're not hungry. You aren't hungry, but you have hunger. Okay. So it's a little bit different way of looking at it. So tienes hambre? Do you have hunger? And remember the H, what sound does it make?
Silent.
Silent. So just pretend it's not there. ¿Tienes hambre? Are you hungry? Okay. And your child could respond and say, sí, and if you wanted them to use a full sentence, you could get them to say, sí, tengo hambre, as they get a little bit more advanced. Sí, tengo hambre. Or you could respond to one of the techniques that the teachers use at the school is they answer their own questions. So for example, a teacher might ask a child, ¿Tienes hambre? And the child's not going to say anything. Maybe they don't understand. And the teacher will say, sí, tengo hambre. Yo tengo hambre. You know, I'm hungry. Okay, sí, tengo hambre. I'm hungry. Yo tengo hambre. Yo means I. You might ask your child, ¿quieres comer? ¿Quieres comer? ¿Quieres comer? Anyone know what that means? ¿Quieres comer?
Thirsty?
Oh, you're close.
Yes.
You want to eat?
Yeah, see. Do you want to eat?
Ah,
Okay. So that word here, quieres, comes from the verb querer. It means to want. So do you want? ¿Quieres comer? Okay. Do you want to eat? Comer means to eat. Another variation of that would be, ¿qué quieres comer? ¿Qué quieres comer? Any guesses about what that means? ¿Qué quieres comer? ¿Qué quieres comer?
what do you want to eat?
Sí, what do you want to eat? ¿Qué quieres comer? Okay. ¿Qué quieres comer?
Right there.
Okay. So then you could do a guessing game with your child. You could say, ¿quieres? ¿Quieres? Do you want? Okay, anyone want to give me some words that you might ask your child that they want? ¿Quieres?
Banana.
Ah, okay. ¿Quieres un plátano? Mhm. Also, some teachers, depending on their country, they call it un banano. It depends. Some countries say plátano. I know in Mexico they say plátano, plátano, but then I've also heard banano.
No.
¿Quieres un plátano? ¿Quieres un plátano? What's something else you might ask your child if they want to eat?
Strawberry?
Oh,
Whoever likes
Fruit.
yeah, that's good. Yeah, I want to give you the words that you actually use. So you could say, ¿quieres fresas?
Fresas.
Ujú. A mí me encantan las fresas, son muy ricas.
Mm.
Fresas. Fresas. Okay. ¿Qué más? ¿Qué más? What else? ¿Qué más?
Queso, some cheese.
Oh,
good.
queso. ¿Quieres queso? Cheese. Oops, spelling it wrong. Cheese. Queso. And there you go again with that. That's E. E. So the E makes the E sound. Queso.
Queso.
That's also
¿Quieres?
it's also a popular one at our house too.
The teachers, a lot of times they call it, instead of queso, they'll say quesito.
Quesito.
¿Quieres queso or quesito? Remember how I told you in Spanish, they make a lot of words diminutive and they'll put ito or ito on it. So they'll change cheese to quesito, like you want a little cheese. You know, and you can do that with strawberries too, fresitas, but I hear it a lot with queso. Okay, ¿qué más? ¿Qué otra cosa pueden comer los niños? ¿Qué más? ¿Quieres?
Bread.
Bread.
That's a good one.
Ah, ¿quieres pan?
Torta? Torta?
Pan.
Mhm. ¿Quieres? Ujú. ¿Quieres comer pan? ¿Quieres pan? Sí, sí, quiero pan.
Torta a sandwich?
Okay, yes. So some countries say torta. ¿Quieres una torta? But I've also just heard teachers say un sándwich. ¿Quieres un sándwich? ¿Quieres pan? ¿Quieres una torta? What about ¿quieres leche?
Also the campus to give people out, and she's great. So yeah.
Leche?
Leche.
Leche, ¿quieres leche? Sí, quiero leche. And as your child gets older, I always encourage parents to try to get them to use complete sentences. You know, in the beginning, saying sí is good enough, sí or no. But as they get older, say, sí, quiero leche. Okay, so for example, if your child wanted to say, yes, I want milk. Sí, quiero leche. And that's good even in English to encourage full sentence answers with them as they get older. You know, not just yes, but also, yes, I want milk or I would like milk. Sí, quiero leche.
Quiero leche.
Quiero leche.
Okay. All right, well, let's practice with these. We'll repeat these and then I'll ask you a couple of questions. Let's start here. ¿Tienes hambre? ¿Tienes hambre? Sí, tengo hambre. Yo tengo hambre. ¿Quieres comer? ¿Qué quieres comer? ¿Qué quieres comer? ¿Quieres un plátano? ¿Quieres un banano? ¿Quieres fresas? ¿Quieres queso? ¿Quieres quesito? ¿Quieres pan? ¿Quieres una torta? ¿Quieres leche? Sí, quiero leche. Okay. All righty. Any questions? ¿Alguna pregunta? No, no hay preguntas. All righty. Well, those are just some basic questions. We talked about listo, listo, vamos, vámonos. So we'll do some more. I'll let you work on, asking if they are hungry or what they want to eat, if you'd like to practice that. And then next week we can go over some other phrases that you could use at home with your child, because there's a ton of them. There's lots of them, but I don't want to give too many in one night. So,
Sounds
all
good.
right. Well, we've got a couple of minutes left, so I wanted to talk about this week's theme. So this week's theme is Cuando sea grande. Cuando sea grande. That's what we're talking about at the school, and that literally means when I'm big. When I'm big. So the translation would be when I grow up, I think, in English. So cuando means when. Sea means I am, but it comes from the verb ser, and this is just for people that want a little bit more advanced grammar. It comes from the verb ser, and it's the subjunctive form. Subjunctive is one of the advanced tenses in Spanish where you say something that hasn't really happened. So when I grow up hasn't happened yet. So that's why you say cuando sea grande, when I'm big. So we've been talking about different professions, and we've got a really cute song that hopefully you can listen to on the playlist. I think it's called Nos vamos a disfrazar. That's a mouthful. Nos vamos a disfrazar. That means let's get dressed, or we're going to get dressed, or we're going to dress up. Okay, we're going to dress up. So it's all about dressing up and being different professions. Nos vamos a disfrazar. Nos vamos a disfrazar. Let's dress up. So, for example, well, if you wanted to ask someone, what are you going to be for Halloween? Because that's a question that some of the teachers are talking about with the kids. And so you would say to the child, ¿de qué te vas a disfrazar? ¿De qué te vas a disfrazar? Okay. What are you going to dress up as? ¿De qué te vas a disfrazar? Okay. And you could say, yo quiero ser. I'm going to be. And so that's in our song. So the song is really cute. Kids are saying what they're going to be. So there's different professions. So a couple of professions that we've been talking about this week at school is bombero or bombera. That's a fireman or firewoman. Maestra. We know that word, right? Yo quiero ser maestra. Or maestro would be a male teacher. Okay, so teacher. Okay, maestro, maestro. Yo quiero ser cocinero. I think that's another one of the words. Cocinero is a cook. Cocinero comes from the verb cocinar. Okay. Anyone have a profession they want to tell me and I can tell you how to say it in Spanish? Cocinero.
Nurse.
Ah, nurse. Yes, that's a good one. Enfermera. That's a female nurse. If you're a male, it'll be enfermero. Okay, nurse. So, yo quiero ser enfermera. If you are currently a nurse, you would say soy enfermera. Remember we learned the word soy for I am, like soy Melissa, soy enfermera. You can say what you are, soy enfermera. If you wanted to tell someone what your profession is. Doctor, that one's easy. I mean, it's the same, just the pronunciation is a little bit different. Doctor or doctora. Doctor. Also medico. Medico is another word for doctor. So I've heard both. Medico or medica. Okay, so soy médico or soy médica. Another profession.
Dentist.
Dentista.
Dentista.
Soy dentista. I'm a dentist. Soy dentista. By the way, dentist is one of those that breaks the rules. All dentists are dentistas. So there's no word as dentisto. That word just doesn't exist. So soy dentista for everybody.
Dentista.
Let's see, policía. We have a dad who's going to come see the kids on Friday. He's a police officer. So soy policía. And that one also breaks the rule. There's no policio. It's just policía as everybody. Police officer. I think in the song too, so the lyrics of the song, if you listen to it at home, I'll type them out for you. They say, a jugar, means let's play. Nos vamos a disfrazar. Let's get dressed. Y ¿qué serás? ¿Qué serás? What will you be? What will you be? So that's what the song is asking. And then the children in the song say, yo quiero ser, and then they say what they want to be. So, so that way, when you're listening to the song, you'll know what it's talking about. Yo quiero ser, and I think it says bombero. I think the song says astronauta. Sirena is a mermaid.
Oh.
Sirena, yo quiero ser sirena. The song also says princesa, princess. I want to be a princess because kids can be anything they want to be when they're little, right? Yo quiero ser princesa, sirena.
Sirena.
Sirena. Sirena. I'm trying to think what other professions are in the song. I know those are some of the main ones that it talks. Cocinero. Did I type that one up here? Cocinero. I think I did. Cocinero. Cocinero. It's a cook. Yo quiero ser cocinero. So. All right. Well, any questions before we go, before we wrap it up?
I don't think so.
No. Well, thanks again for coming, for giving me an audience. This is great. And I hope that there's something that you will use from tonight. So whether you practice with the teachers, some of the things that we've learned in past lessons, or using some Spanish words at home with your child, definitely just pick something out, pick a couple of words and try them out this week.
Okay.
Thank you so much
Thank
for your
you.
time.
We appreciate it.
Okay, muchas
Thank you.
gracias. Gracias por venir. Buenas noches.
Buenas noches.
Adiós. Buenas noches. Hasta luego.
Hasta luego.